Hey guys, it's Mr. G and Mr. Wells, and we just wanted to create a new video on some of the problems that you guys have been having difficulties with. These are what we like to call the if-then statements. So like if we take a look at number 1, alright, we all have the same base. We know the base here is 3. Alright, so with 3 being our base for each one of them, the only thing I really need to focus on is going to be my exponent. So I have an x here, a 5 here, and a negative 2 here. Now, that little dot represents multiplication, and we know that the rules for multiplication when it comes to exponents is we're just going to add them. So I'm going to do x plus 5, alright, and this is all going to equal that negative 2 right there, that exponent, okay? Now, this is just a one-step equation. Draw my line, put my equal sign on the bottom. How do I get this positive 5 over here? Well, the opposite of a positive 5 is a negative 5, so I'm just going to subtract on both sides. These cancel out. X is going to equal, well, negative 2 and a negative 5. The signs are the same. Add it up and keep the sign. So my answer for this is x to the negative 7.
Alright, and to go a little bit further with that one, we could check our work pretty easily. If x is negative 7, and I want to check that right here and put it in for negatives for x, negative 7 plus 5, does that give me negative 2? And it does, so it checks out. Alright. Let's go to the division one, and the reason why we're doing this one is very similar to one of the questions on weekly quiz number 2 that a lot of students had a hard time with. This says, and it looks a little blurry to me, so I'll rewrite it, is 2 to the 3rd divided by 2 to the x equals 2 to the 8th. And we are doing division here, so we know if we subtract the exponents, we're going to get an answer of 8. So I know that 3 minus x equals 8. So I'm going to make this an equation. I'm going to solve it. I'm going to move this 3 over by subtracting 3 on each side. That cancels out. So I've got 5 on my right side. Now the part on the left side that's a little confusing is this is not just an x. There's a negative sign right there with the x. So I need to make sure I bring that down as well. So I have negative x equals 5. That's not what we want. We want x, not negative x. So this really means negative 1x equals 5, and I want to make sure I get rid of that negative 1, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1, and if I move this up a little bit, my answer is going to be x equals 5 divided by negative 1 is a negative 5, and my answer for this one is negative 5. And once again, if I check this, negative 5, I'll put it back up here for this x. So what's 3 minus a negative 5? That's the same thing as adding 3 plus 5, which gives me the 8 that I wanted.